Today, we are diving into a really powerful and I think beautiful idea that you are your child's first and honestly most important teacher. We're going to look at the huge role you play long before they even see the inside of a classroom.
This quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? It really gets to the heart of everything we're talking about today. It reminds us that true learning, well, it doesn't start with textbooks. It starts at home. It starts with you. Okay, so let's start with this foundational idea. You are the first teacher. And you know what? This isn't a job you have to apply for or a title you have to earn. You already have it, just by being there in your child's life.
And we're not talking about flashcards or, formal lessons here. The really deep, meaningful learning, the kind that sticks, it happens in all those little everyday moments. It's how your child builds their entire picture of the world through your voice, your touch, your simple, loving presence. This really broadens what we even mean by teaching, because you're not just teaching them their colors or how to count. Through your actions, your patience, your love, you're their first teacher of curiosity, of trust, of confidence, all these things that are going to shape the person they become. Okay, so we get what we're teaching, but why? Why is something as simple as just talking so incredibly powerful? Well, the answer is kind of mind-blowing. It's about how your voice literally helps to build your child's brain. This right here is the big idea. Seriously, think of it like this. Every word you share, every little story you tell is actively forging new connections in their brain. Your voice is a brain-building tool you can use anytime, anywhere. You're literally helping their brain grow. And this is so important to remember because it just takes all the pressure off, right? You don't need a lesson plan. You don't need a curriculum. The goal isn't to instruct, it's to connect. You're just sharing your life with them. All right, so how do we actually do this? How do we put this amazing idea into practice? Well, this next part is all about a simple, daily routine, breaking down exactly what you can do and what you can say. It really is this simple. Just 2 steps. First, pick one of those ordinary things you do every single day, like getting dressed or having a snack. Then, step 2, just talk about it. Narrate it. You basically become the sportscaster of your daily life. Here's a perfect example. You're washing hands. You say, "We are washing your hands." The sentences are short. They're simple. You're connecting the word warm to the actual feeling of the water. You're connecting clean to the result. That's it. It's so simple. And here's another one for getting dressed. Look what's happening here. You're naming things, shirt. You're naming colors, blue. You're explaining a sequence of events. And then that little good job at the end, that builds their confidence. It's amazing how much is packed into such a simple exchange. Okay, let's just pause and take a breath here. If you feel a little awkward doing this at first, I just want you to know that's completely normal. The goal is not to be a perfect narrator. It's just to try. There's no wrong way to connect with your child. So you start doing this. What happens next? Well, the changes might not be loud or dramatic. So let's talk about how you can start to notice the quiet but really meaningful signs that your connection is getting stronger. So what should you be looking for? It's a great question because the answer might not be what you'd expect. We're not looking for test scores or grades here. It's something much more subtle. The really cool thing is that progress is a two-way street. Of course, you'll start to see your child looking at you more when you talk, or maybe trying to make new sounds. But, and this is so important, you're also going to notice changes in yourself. You'll start to feel more confident. It'll feel more natural, and you'll start seeing these little opportunities for connection everywhere. And here is a crucial reminder. This is not about measuring your child against some milestone chart. This is not a test. It's simply about noticing the bond that you're building. It's about celebrating the effort, both yours and theirs. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's take this big, powerful idea and turn it into a really simple daily habit. It all comes down to a 5-minute challenge. So, how much time does this take? Is this some huge commitment? No, just 5 minutes a day. That's it. This isn't about finding an extra hour you don't have. It's about being intentional with just 5 minutes. So here it is, the take-home challenge. For 5 minutes every day, just talk out loud to your child. And notice those key words. It does not have to be perfect. It only has to be consistent. Consistency is what builds the habit and strengthens those little pathways in the brain. Perfection is not required. So we want to leave you with this final question to think about.
Because this whole thing isn't just about your child's development. It's about what you discover in these quiet moments. What will you notice about your child, about yourself, and about your connection when you decide to do it on purpose?